Well, one of the big things that stood out to me during the tournament was the offensive balance that your team displayed in the biggest matches of the year. You know about the goal scoring threat for Kelsey Turnbow, Izzy DeQuilla. They ended up with three apiece. As I'm looking at the stats, Skylar Smith with 3 goals, Sally Menti, Makoto Nezu each get a goal. DeQuilla, Menti, Doyle, Karen Gore, 2 assists apiece. So you have the stats that reflect that. But then beyond that, you just think about players stepping up in different games. Julie
Yeah.
Doyle, a couple of great crosses against Arkansas. Sally Menti, defense to offense against Clemson. She wins the ball back. Izzy plays her in. She scores a goal. And then, of course, Kelsey coming up in the biggest of moments. So tell me how offensive balance, that kind of threat from so many different places on the field and having a lot of different student athletes that can step up, how did that lead your team to a championship?
Yeah, when you winning a national championship, just everything has to come together. There can't be any holes, and you certainly can't win a national championship relying on just one or two people. That just doesn't work. And again, Florida State paid us great respect in changing what they did all year. Why? Because of our offensive firepower and all those people that you mentioned and more. Skylar to come off the bench 3 times and score goals for us in the tournament, it's just amazing. For Sally Menti, a freshman, to, almost single-handedly win the quarterfinal game for us was just amazing. Um, Makoto started for us in the first game of the year, and then we didn't start Makoto again until the NCAA playoffs, where she just killed it. And she's one of our best passers. She covers ground. She's a great defender. And then for her to score a goal on top of all the things that she does was just amazing. Our team was so happy for Makoto. That might have been, other than the national championship, our biggest celebration is when Makoto scored the 4th goal against Ohio State. They're just so pleased for Makoto. And yeah, we had a lot of offensive firepower. I'd be remiss if I didn't also mention Eden White. Eden didn't start for us in the regular season when Sophia Jones went down with her injury. We could have moved people around, but when you move people around, what happens is that you fill a hole and create a hole. And so we decided not to do that, and we just took Eden White, who hadn't started for us, and put her in at center back for Sophia. And those are massive shoes to fill. And just great credit to Eden. Now, even though Eden didn't have a lot of starts for us or any this year, she's been on our team for 3 years, and we have a wonderful training environment. Our training environment is first class. Our kids train hard. They're competitive. Some weeks our toughest games are the games we play against ourselves. And Eden, is in a wonderful training environment, and she stayed focused. She kept working hard, even though she wasn't getting the starts. And I remember her sending me a text message after Sophia went down, and just said, "Hey, Coach, I'm ready if you need me." And boy, she really did a phenomenal job for us at center back, stepping in for Sophia. So, there's just so many people that stepped up for us in the tournament. And again, you can't win a championship without the help of so many different staff members, coaches, players, young players, veteran players, reserve players, starting players. Everything really has to come together. And if I'm honest, I think I probably had maybe 15 teams as talented as the team this year, but they couldn't find a way to win. We couldn't find a way to win, and that's why there's just so much credit has to go to this group. In a normal year, it's just really hard to win a championship, and this year was especially hard coming out of Santa Clara County. And our group found a way, and of course, it was contributions from many, many people. I almost don't like to do names, David, because every single person in our program contributed. I could go Drew Cleary with sports performance, Sean, our trainer, Ryan Holloman. I mean, Jenna Lamb. I mean, I just, there's so many players, Riley Burrell, who didn't play a lot for us, but absolutely contributed to a championship culture every single day. So it's hard for me to do names, quite honestly, because I'm going to leave people out. And I would hate to do that because it took everybody, and I mean everybody, pulling in the same direction for us to accomplish this.
You said after the Arkansas match that you and the team felt like the WCC maybe didn't get as much respect as it deserved. Now, obviously, you win a championship, that's going to add to that conversation, but I'm curious to know why that was important to bring up and to be on record saying about the conference and also about your group.
Yeah, so and we mean no disrespect to anyone, but because we don't come from a Power 5 conference or because we're on the West Coast, I just think that our players, our coaches, our program doesn't get as much respect as they deserve. Right before the Arkansas game, if I'm honest with you, the right before the Arkansas game, the Mac Herman top 15 players came out, and Arkansas had a kid in the top 15 for the Player of the Year, National Player of the Year. We had 0. And I was upset by that. And my team is upset by that. To not have Kelsey Turnbow or Alex Luetta in the top 15 is just disrespectful. Those kids are so good. They are so good. And I just feel badly for our players, our program, and our university when they don't get as much attention, they don't get as much credit as they deserve. Our conference has won the national championship 4 times, 2 by the University of Portland and 2 by Santa Clara University. And I don't know how many conferences out there have 4 national championships in women's soccer, but it isn't very many. And yet there aren't many people that know about that. And yeah, did we kind of use that as motivation for our players? Yeah, but why? Because we're upset by it. I wish we weren't. I wish I could look the other way. I just don't think our players get the credit that they deserve. Top Drawer magazine chose Kelsey Turnbow as the National Player of the Year, and I'm very thankful for that. But it took us winning the national championship to do it. And yeah, we're fighting for respect from the West Coast Conference, and we'll continue to fight the good fight, and that's okay. If we're sneaking up on people and they don't think, they're not giving us a great chance to win, and we continue to use that and win national championships going forward, then I guess I'll be okay with that. I'd rather be under-respected and win the championship than over-respected with no championships.